Today, steam trains run from Tenterden right through to Bodiam. It has taken 30 years to restore services to this point. This film from 1927 shows Bodiam with a typical train of the period. From complete closure in 1961, the station slumbered. From early days, the Kent East Sussex Railway Preservation Society did from time to time clear the site, and even to manage to run the occasional steam train nearby, as shown here with Marcia, the little industrial engine. Now in 1999 the miracle has happened with a grant from the Millennium Commission to help finance the £2 million project. The heavy machinery moves on to the site and the track begins to be laid. At Northiam, the new signal box takes shape as Noel, the first terrier to run on the line for many years, is taken out for a test run after a total rebuild in the workshops at Rolvenden. Adrian Landy from the workshop feels the axle boxes for excessive heat. A locomotive and a works train ventures down the unballasted new track on the way to Bodiam. Tenterden, the Norwegian has a birthday.
Very nice.
Another special day was on 30th of May 1999 when TV personality and journalist Ian Hislop came to Tenterden to launch Noel and the Austerity number 25 back into full public service.
In 1954, she continued to work on TR levels until 1964. Okay. I launched this train.
Let's go then. Can't wait to have a go on it.
Hello? I'm back again. I launched this next train.
The pair of locomotives ran together on trains for the rest of the day. Flying from Headcorn Aerodrome, a good view can be obtained of the railway. Here is Tenterden. The remoteness of Wittersham Road Station shows up here. Northiam. The castle at Bodiam reminds us of the extension to come soon. Robertsbridge. Returning north, we follow the course of the closed Headcorn section. The line across the field and the trees clearly show up. Approaching Biddenden. Frittenden Station today, nestling in a farmer's yard. Going back to 1954, this old film shows the station still open. Amateur films like this must lurk in attics all over the country. We wish we could get more like this one. Approaching St Michael's Tunnel and St Michael's Halt. The two platforms at Tenterden are clearly seen. The train returns to Headcorn. Note the large signal box. At Northiam, a huge pile of ballast has come by sea to Rye Harbour and then in local lorries.
We're running ballast on the Bodiam extension this morning with two hoppers of approximately 20 tonnes per load. You'll actually see it disappearing very rapidly as we go down the track.
A return to Northiam for another trip. The group has about 6 to 8 journeys a day. At Tenterden, the summer service is in full swing. In the yard, some old stock will be removed out of the way. The rocket replica is here to help celebrate the railway's 25th anniversary of service as a preserved line. The man in charge was questioned about the capability of the engine.
Bowling along, keep everything oiled and fire and water right, and keep going. Do about 30 miles an hour.
I don't know whether that's
Noel is also in service. One afternoon, Rocket took a trip with staff members to Northiam. It stopped to coal up at Rolvenden. It managed the journey but needed assistance up Tenterden Bank. From France, another replica, Mark Seguin, came to Tenterden.
Goes on there, and it's going round because it's gear driven.
Silver Jubilee Day was July the 24th, 1999, and many vintage motors arrived to join in. Up from Rolvenden came some of the engines. The great parade of locomotives gets underway with the replicas participating. Charwelton, always a dependable engine, There's only a little time left before it is withdrawn for a major 10-year examination. Right Honourable Lord Deeds, a campaigner for the railway over many years, gets into the swing of things before he flags away a special train. The train with the original headboard fitted arrives.
The train in the platform now is the 10:30 departure to Bodiam, calling at Rolverton and Withisham Road. And this train will be waved away by Lord Deeds, who formally opened the railway 25 years ago.
Lord Deeds receives a badge for 25 years of service to the railway.
25 years of service to the railway, and also a certificate to mark the occasion.
I'm a
Thank you very
worthy
much.
recipient of this gift, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have you taken any notice of the flag?
The special has to wait, as usual, for the up train to arrive in the loop. Noel is also on duty with Charwelton and the Pullman cars. The weekend saw many trains well filled to celebrate the Silver Jubilee. At Bodiam, restoration is well underway with many people undertaking lots of jobs. Graham Hopker discusses the type of wood we use.
Pine, I think. We got it from a chap up the road, Castle Handling, who makes pallets apparently. His main business is making pallets. And I think we did a good deal.
Strange motive power starts to appear. The tamping machine has arrived. A lot of ballast still has to be dropped. However, a steam-hauled train was arranged for one such trip. TV and film sessions do help with our finances.
Well, we're filming the Armagh rail disaster, where the back of the train full of 1,000 school children ran down the hill and smashed into the train behind, purely because the guard and the supervisor didn't know what to do about it when the engine stalled. It was major, it was mega. I mean, it was down to 1 in 50 for about a mile and a half, and it was doing about 70 or 80 miles an hour by the time it hit the train coming up behind.
The story is of a train which is struggling up an incline. The train is then divided. The first part is taken to the top and the engine returns to the second part. A stone is placed under the wheel to stop the second part falling back. Unfortunately, the second part rolls away and crashes into a following train. We had a diesel at the rear to stop the train rolling too far. The second day of filming saw costume being fitted to some familiar members of staff. This time it was the story of a misread timetable. A ganger took a rail out just before a boat train thundered by.
I'm the man who caused the accident.
What did you do then?
Took out a rail. I misread the timetable and I did not take a note of the boat train coming through on the main line.
Charles Welton takes out the train to the chosen location on a bridge. Modern video cameras are so small and efficient that they can be fixed on the front to give dramatic shots.
Okay, action!
The action was repeated several times before the crew were happy. It's Santa time again. Loco crew members prepare for a hard day ahead. The usual helpers arrive, Pixies and the man himself. The trains are always well filled with happy youngsters. The loadings were heavy enough to warrant double heading up the bank. This one is banked also. For the 31st of December 1999, a special Wealdon Pullman train is to take diners to celebrate the new millennium with champagne at Northiam Station at midnight. In the kitchen, staff are hard at it preparing the food.
This is cocktail Saint-Jacques, yeah? I know, yeah, hot one.
Oh, yeah.
The stewards, all volunteers, are kept busy well into the night, looking after the customers.
Just 15 minutes to go from the Millennium. So
Thank you very much.
At Nordium, near the approaching hour, someone counts down the time with a mobile phone. Spring 2000, and it's Thomas time again. The engine, on loan, departs for Tenterden. These special theme events help to bring in much needed revenue, and the children often want to return another day. With just 3 weeks to go before the most important event possibly of the decade, Bodiam Station has become the focal point for the railway.
I think the dresser is Phillips. Alex.
Finishing touches are taking place, and a new footpath has been built to the castle. In the castle itself, lots of visitors could be potential passengers when our trains start running in a few weeks. And now the great day has arrived, with the opening of the extension to Bodiam and the line's centenary. The engine shed a hive of activity. All the available locomotives are being service ready for the special trains to be run today. USA number 65 will be the first off shed, and is needed to be at Tenterden very soon. Tenterden, guests are being welcomed, and Mr. Peter Barber, the project engineer of the extension, is also here. Shareholders who bought bonds to help finance the projects have first-class tickets to take the first train to Bodiam. Sharp at 9 a.m, as the bells of the Church of St. Mildred's ring out, the first train pulls away.
We've walked down to Bodiam, from Bodiam Castle to the station, and thought the track looks all right. Trod on the sleepers and gone through.
At Northiam, the temporary hand signalling is in operation until the correct equipment is installed and tested. After taking on water, the token is handed over for the first public train on the extension. It's the 2nd of April 2000. All appears quiet at Bodiam, but events soon take on a festive air as the bond holders alight. The buildings look smart, and there are great things to see inside. The shareholders' train has had to leave empty to run to Northiam to make room for the next train. The next train at Tenterden is for guests and celebrities. The guest train passes through Rolvenden. The engine crews will have no lunch breaks today, so they are grabbing what they can while they are busy. The guest train arrives at Bodiam, and there will be some speeches on the platform. Overhead, a salute for some vintage aeroplanes. Locomotives have run around ready for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Robin Dice, the chairman, then outlines the story of the reconstruction.
A number of those people, those early pioneers, are here today. In all, some 50,000 hours were put in by some 200 volunteers. And all this work was project managed by the railway's own staff. The icing on the cake is that it has been achieved within time and cost limits. I believe it is a huge credit to our project management, to all our staff, that's both paid and volunteer.
Journalist Mr. Christopher Files is the principal guest.
Colleague of your great president, Bill Deeds, of the Daily Telegraph, the man who saved the railway when he was Member of Parliament for Ashford and the Ministry of Transport wanted to tear it up because they had some idea that it was infested with level crossings. Can't think what made them think that. And on the day when the Kent and East Sussex engineers its way out to the main line and the Wealdon Bell Pullman runs to and through the Channel Tunnel.
Speech is over, the ceremony of cutting the ribbon as Bodiam is officially opened. The 7th of July 2000, His Royal Highness the Duke of Gloucester visited Tenterden to travel to Bodiam and officially open the station. The royal train was hauled by the Norwegian, suitably fitted with the correct headlamp code. Charles Welton was on the rear. He joined the train, greeted by the regular Pullman team.
I am very pleased to unveil this plaque mark the progress that you have made.
Quite a lot of hard work to get to the right place.
His Royal Highness just couldn't resist a cab ride in Charwelton.
I'm not sure, madam, I would recommend it.
As the months passed, many trains carried many visitors who had come down to see the new section. Flood damage caused a major disruption of the winter service.
Peter's designing sequence to full depth.
After repairs, a temporary shuttle service was operated between Northiam and Bodiam. Soon after this, the whole line was passed for normal use. The vintage Ford diesel, which came to the railway in 1966, was restored to traffic. And despite the foot and mouth epidemic, took part in a diesel weekend. Another vehicle restored, or nearly restored, was Pullman Barbara. It came back from outside contractors incomplete. Staff of the carriage and wagon department examined the interior to see what had to be done.
Is the arm of the chair wet?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can see it's blocked on there, but I didn't know whether it had gone that way.
What it could be due to the wind and... See, this window is bone dry.
Yeah.
It's got a temporary panel in it.
Yeah, well, it's gone over the face, hasn't it?
Today it's back in service and looks wonderful. The 11th of August saw the longest train arrive at Northiam. The Victorian set also had Pullman coaches making up to 8 vehicles. The second half of the train was filled with tourists from a ship at Dover who were enjoying a cream tea. The tourists didn't have enough time to ride the whole of the line, so the train returned to Tenterden. A waiting diesel, the Class 33, backed onto the other end and took the train back. Meanwhile, the attractive Terrier and the Victorian train continue to give passengers an old-time train ride. After a gap of 20 years, a steam and country fair was held at Bodiam. It was a bit of a gamble, but with good weather it paid off. Present here were the usual steam rollers and brightly lit roundabouts. Our story ends with scenes of trains running on the extension on Centenary Day. The Kent-Sussex Railway would not be here today without the help of its volunteer workforce. If you would like to join us, why not become a member and support the friendly team who keep the trains running?